Jamal Elshayyal, who joins us from Nasr City. Jamal, you've been speaking to some of the people there, and these are supporters of President Morsi. What have they been saying about these allegations that have come out against him?
Well, as far as they're concerned, it just confirms what they have been saying since the very first day this military coup was executed, that this was not only a military coup in their view against Egypt's one and only democratically elected civilian president, but it was also an attempt to liquidate or at least crack down on anyone who is opposed to military rule. They view that the charges that are being pressed against the president are trumped up charges. They point to the fact that a president of any state would have had connections or contact with foreign entities, but to claim that he conspired with a militant group or a group, a Palestinian faction, they find laughable considering how small Hamas's size and influence is in the region, let alone in Egypt. They point to the fact also that the military is the one that is meant to be patrolling and guarding the borders of Egypt, as well as the military intelligence, of which Abdel Fattah al-Sisi was the head of prior to being appointed the head of the army and prior to then essentially being the de facto leader of the coup, that they're the ones who should have been patrolling and policing Sinai, especially the contact area between both countries. So if there was any conspiracy, surely the military is responsible for ensuring that didn't take place. But I think that's neither here or there as much as it is the fact that these people have now entered their 29th day. Behind me here, they're insistent that their numbers are increasing. They're insistent that they are getting more and more confident because they believe that the call by Sisi to get people onto the streets, the printing of posters and handing them out by the military soldiers, as we saw today, for people to hold them of Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, the easing of for people to come onto the streets in support of the coup, they say is a sign that the coup leaders are desperate to try and find some sort of public support for them. However, the idea still remains that there is no common ground between both sides. There is still a very huge standoff. One side has their supporters on the street, the other side has their supporters as well as tanks and armored personnel carriers on the streets and helicopters in the sky, and that's what makes things very dangerous indeed.
Well, certainly it's very dangerous and very tense, no doubt. Now, we're just seeing the crowd starting to gather behind you. Jamal, are there plans for them to march elsewhere and join up perhaps with other pro-Morsi supporters?
Well, I mean, what they usually do here, what's been the case since the past month or so, is that they gather throughout the day, and then in the evening, around about 10 p.m. local time, after they do the evening Taraweeh prayers for Ramadan, they do a short march to one of the two places close by here, the Presidential Palace or the Republican Guard, which was the scene of the bloodbath which took place a couple of weeks ago when the military opened fire on protesters there. However, the Muslim Brotherhood, as Nadim just pointed out, did say, as well as the National Coalition for Legitimacy, the broader coalition of pro-democracy organizations, as they call themselves, said that they will not march anywhere near where the pro-coup protests are taking place. So we expect that this will be a sit-in only. However, we do know that they are holding dozens of other sit-ins, not only in Cairo, but also across Egypt. So in Sohag and Alexandria and Minya, Fayoum, Matruh and Al Arish and other places. So they are very keen on trying to show that this isn't only taking place in the capital, but there are also many other anti-coup protests taking place across the country.